Hello everyone, I am Lythus and welcome back for another video, and today I have the answers to my Q&A AMAA 500 subscriber special. It's been a while since I posted that video, sorry it has taken this long, but I have the answers to those questions coming now. There should be some Slay the Spire footage going on in the background, and there should be snippets of the comments appearing on screen as I read them. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into answering some of these questions. And first off, we have a question from Neptune Plays. It says, what is your favorite manga that came out in 2017? And this is a little bit of a hard one because 2017 had some really good releases. But I'm going to go with Battle Angel Alita, those 2-in-1 deluxe hardcovers, because not only has the story been fantastic, but the release that it got is also very, very, very great. So that is probably going to be my favorite manga that came out in 2017. Maybe if I pick up some more series that came out in 2017, my opinion will change, but as of now, those Battle Angel Alita releases are fantastic, and I can definitely see that being a series I really, really love. Sort of going forward. And sort of as a reply to Neptune Plays, we have John Oliver Guy, who says, alternatively, what's your least favorite manga from 2017? And least favorite is probably a bad term. Probably, I'd say, the manga that came out that I was not the most, or I didn't enjoy the most, because I still think it's good, and I did enjoy it, but I am going to hold off on picking up some more of the series for a little bit of time. And that would be Golden Kamui. That is a little bit of, you know, from left field, I would say, because a lot of people really, really love that series. But I didn't really get a whole lot of really, really bad series, thankfully. Most of the series I got that came out in 2017 I really liked, so that's a good thing. So that Golden Kamui is probably going to be the one that I'm going to pick for this. No others that came out in 2017 are sort of coming off the top of my head. There was one that came out in 2018, but that's 2018. That is definitely not as good as Golden Kamui. But as it stands, Golden Kamui was my least favorite from 2017, though I still do enjoy it, but I'm going to hold off to pick up some more volumes, sort of complete some other series first. Next up, we have a question from Andrew Kim 7777, and it says, do you ever read a whole series online or through other sources before purchasing a physical copy? And the answer is yes, I have done that before. Recently, I haven't been doing it as much, but I probably should start doing that a little bit more, doing some more reading online prior to going into purchases, just to sort of save more money, make sure every purchase that I make is a good purchase. Yeah, there are definitely some series I want to pick up that I have read through their entirety already. I can think of a couple off the top of my head that I still have yet to pick up, and I really want to do so. But yes, I have done that, and it's something I definitely advise you do, especially if you're low on money, just to make sure that every one of your purchases is one that you're happy with. Moving on, we have a question from the King Schaefer, or Schaffer. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. It is, how did you get so much subs? Smiley face. I don't know. That's thanks to you guys. You guys decided to, you know, I presume you liked my content and so decided to subscribe. So I thank you guys for that. Maybe it's because I upload consistently or more consistently than other people. That could be a factor. I don't really know. But it's really just thanks to you guys liking, sharing, sort of just kind of supporting the channel. So I'd say that's probably your guys' doing. Probably maybe coupled with consistent content would be my best guess. But yeah, it's really thanks to you guys that the channel is growing, because it couldn't exist, or it wouldn't really be a channel without anyone watching. I'd just be sort of shouting into an echo chamber. Yeah, it's thanks to you guys That would probably be my answer to that question, but I really have no idea. I do not know how well YouTube works from like a fundamental level. So yeah, that would be my guess. Next up, we have a question from Hermit Crab Guy, and it asks, "What manga has the worst translation?" Not to my knowledge have I read a manga with a particularly bad translation. Like one that I've owned. I know I've yet to get into Whispered Words. I hear they didn't do a great job on the translation for Whispered Words, but seeing as I haven't read it yet, I can't attest to that, so I can't really put that on there. I'm probably I'm gonna list a manga that I haven't read. Really, I've just, you know, I'm gonna name the manga, which is Paradise Kiss, because it has two different translations: the Tokyo Pop one and the vertical one. And from what I've read, there are differences between the two that are fairly significant. The vertical one went for a more literal approach, whereas the Tokyo Pop one was more liberal with their translation, and I feel that the Tokyo Pop translation is much better for that reason, because some of the lines in the vertical translation don't make a whole lot of sense. Which is why I'm not going to pick up the series unless I can get the original Tokyo Pop prints, the purple ones. So it might be a while before I pick up Paradise Kiss, but it's going to be the Paradise Kiss vertical releases. You can Google this, I'm pretty sure, and see the differences in translation for yourself. But yeah, I think their literal approach to the translation really was not a great choice. Just because some of the lines are not super fantastic and they aren't as impactful as they otherwise would be had they changed them to more suit a Western audience. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the vertical translation of Paradise Kiss. Next up, we have a question from Base Jalarin. Shout out to Base Jalarin. Go check out her channel. Oh, almost forgot. Go check out Neptune Plays channel. He also has a YouTube channel, and he is also a manga tuber. But yeah, she asks, what got you into manga in the first place? What is your origin story? Trademark. What got me into manga was, you know, probably what most people got into manga through, which would be anime. Nothing special. I didn't have this life-altering event. It was just kind of, I liked a show, and I heard there was this, it was based on a manga series, and I wanted to continue it. I'm not sure what show started it. I think it was either Rosario Vampire or Chibi Vampire. Probably one of those two, and then I read through the manga on scans a long time ago. I don't know how long it's been. I'm really bad at time, guys. Like, when we're talking about anything more than like a month, I have no idea how long ago it was. Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah, nothing fancy, just kind of, ooh, I like this thing, and it had a manga, and that continued, and I wanted to read it, and so I found it and read it, and that's kind of how that happened. Yeah, that is my origin story. Fairly boring, fairly ordinary, not unique, I don't feel, yeah, that is where I started. Next up, we have a question from Nixian99. Question 1, what kind of music do you like? And question 2, do you read webcomics like Webtoon? What kind of music do I like? I like basically anything, though I'm not a huge fan of rap or country. There are a few rap and country songs that I like, but my taste is very limited in those categories, but basically anything. Yeah, I don't really have a specific taste in music, just, you know, I'm not huge into it. And I also haven't listened to, like, a whole lot of art house music type stuff, so I have no idea if I'd like any of that. But for the most part, I'm not very fancy, and I don't really have a specific taste. It's more just, if it's not country and it's not rap, I'll probably enjoy listening to it. Do you read webcomics like Webtoon? Not to my knowledge. I don't think I have. If you have suggestions for ones to check out, I could certainly, you know, look into that if you guys want to see maybe reviews of webcomics. I don't know. I did I think your comment actually made me go to Lezen, and there was like a comic with like audio component to it, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But no, I have not really read any webcomics. Next up, we have several questions. We have the Insurgent Master with 3 different questions. First off, we have, which manga do you regret buying? That's very easy. That's Raiders. It's not a manga, but I'm going to consider it one for the question. I'm not going to get too semantically correct here. Yeah, Raiders. I didn't like it a whole lot, and it's the one I regret the most. I don't regret a whole lot of other series just because I have not gone all in very much unless I knew a whole ton about the series. So it's hard to regret buying 1 or 2 volumes just because the the lost or the sunk cost is not that high. But yeah, it's definitely going to be Raiders. That one is a no-brainer. Next up we have, are there any manga tubers you would collab with? Yes, there's the Indefinite Hiatus podcast, which I have collabed with lots of other people on. Maybe if you're talking about maybe do like a review, I definitely collab with people. It's a lot of fun, get different opinions in there, and I think that's always great, having multiple perspectives. But yeah, I'll collab with just about anyone if I know, or if I've seen your content before, and I sort of know who you are. Like, if I don't know you at all, then I'm probably going to watch some of your videos first. But yeah, collabing is completely alright with me, and I already do, 3 podcasts with some other manga tubers. And then his last question, I think, or that I'm looking at, maybe there's more up the page, it is, which series do you think deserves an English release the most? That is without a doubt Watashi Tachi no Shiawase Naji-kan, or Our Happy Time, needs an English release. If you haven't read it, go read it. One of the most, or probably the most, has the most emotional scene I've ever seen in a manga ever to date. It's absolutely fantastic and phenomenal, and I highly recommend checking that out and reading it. If it could get a hardcover English release, I would buy it immediately. Or if there's a Kickstarter for it somewhere, let me know and I will pledge for certain on that. But yeah, that series needs an English release. And for, I'm surprised it hasn't gotten one already. Considering it's fairly popular, I do believe, and has an incredibly high MAL score, which I'm pretty sure manga publishers do check what series are popular and what series get higher ratings through MAL and other things more than just their marketing team. But yeah, that one needs an English release for certain. Next up, we have a question from Swedish Duck, and it asks, when will buy the Akira box sets? You can't escape it, I know I can't escape it. It'll be a while. It's a big ticket purchase, and I generally don't like to make those. So if I stumble upon a lot more money than I was expecting, then probably then, but no set due date or no set date as of now. Can't really say when. The date I set is eventually. So not really much of an answer, but I do plan on getting it at some point. It just really depends on money, and that is really just the biggest component, because spending $100+ on one item, or $100+ all at once, well, more just $100+ on one item, regardless of how much I'm getting, is still a big purchase. So, it really just depends on monetary situations. Other than that, I have no set date. There are some other box sets I'd like to get, so it would also have to compete with other box sets that I want. But yeah, I can't really say for certain when. I can just say that it will happen at some point, unless it goes out of print before I get it, which would be unfortunate. But there are box sets that have done that. But yeah, moving on, we have a question from MacZ2021, and it asks, how long have you been reading manga, and how long have you been buying manga? And his next question is, any series you've been wanting to check out for a while but never had a chance to sit down and read it? Well, that second question is a lot of series. You can just go to my MAL and check my plan to watch list, or not plan to watch. That's also enormous. My plan to read list, which is larger than my completed list, and it's about the same size as my completed, on hold, reading, dropped, all combined. There's a lot of series that I want to read and just haven't gotten around to it. Not as opposed to. His first question, how long have you been reading manga and how long have you been buying manga? I've been reading manga a lot longer than I've been buying manga. And I want to say buying manga, we're getting into this long time ago stuff where I absolutely have no idea. I'd fathom a guess at 2 years. But that's just a guess. It could be longer, could be shorter. I really have no idea. When we're measuring years, I am not the kind of person you want to be asking, because I do not think that way. But I would guess 2 years, but it could be longer and it could be shorter. I would imagine it would be longer than that. But there's always the chance that I've been collecting less than that. But I have no clue, no idea how long it has been. I just know I've been reading much longer than I have been buying, and buying was roughly 2 years ago is when I started. Yeah. Next up we have, what's the most amount of manga volumes that you have read in a day? Maybe 10? 10 volumes? 10 to 15? I don't typically keep track of that. But it's probably in that range somewhere. Probably when I was reading Berserk sort of non-stop. And I would just read volume after volume after volume after volume. Yeah, ooh, wait, let me think about this. I read Omnibus Volumes 3 through 9 of Ubel Blotz. In one night. That's 3 through 9. So that's 7 volumes. So that's 14 volumes right there, because those are 2-in-1s. So at least 14 volumes. Could be more. Yeah, I don't typically keep track of that. So this is a guess. Well, that part's not a guess, but it could be more. But it's at least 14 in one day, because those are 2-in-1s. That's from Amy. I'm not sure if I mentioned your name, but I have mentioned it now. That question is from Amy, or Amy. I'm assuming it's Amy. I have no idea. Next up, we have a question from Apollo Gray, another manga tuber you should check out, and it says, name 3 manga that deserve a box set, and what is your name, birthday, social security number, and place of residence and or home address? Congrats on 500 subs, and I say, thank you for the 500 subs. Sort of congratulations, Apollo. Thank you. As for my name, birthday, social security, and place of residence, I'm gonna have to say that's a little bit too personal for my taste. For 3 manga that deserve a box set, that's a hard one. That is a really hard one. This is kind of list style, but I really like the question. Box set worthy. This, Goodnight Poon Poon would probably be a good fit for a box set. Tokyo Ghoul, that's a really popular series, so I could see that one having a box set. And while I haven't read it, I'm almost certain that it will get a box set, and that would be Attack on Titan, just because it is so wildly popular. I'm not so sure if they're all deserving of. Well, I'm pretty sure. I think Poon Poon and Tokyo Ghoul are. And if we're gonna use deserving in the sense that it's super popular, then Attack on Titan would be deserving of that as well. But those are 3 I can name off the top of my head. As for other series, I don't know. Those would be the 3 that I name. Because a box set's unique. Because like it's got to be popular. That's like it has to meet that criteria. But like worthy of having a box set, it also has to like have a certain level of quality as well. So it's like And it also has to be somewhat long, in my opinion, because like a box set of 2 volumes, it's kind of meh unless they're giant volumes like the Nausicaa volumes. So like it has to be somewhat long. Like it can't be like 1 or 2 volumes, like standard volumes. I'm not talking about like omnibus volumes. It's got to be good, and it's got to be popular. The latter one is the most important one for box sets. So those are the 3 I would go with: Punpun, Tokyo Ghoul, and Attack on Titan. Oh, and it also has to be releasing recently, I would also say. Unless it's a classic, like Akira. Yeah, those would be 3 I name. Yeah, moving on. We have a question from the Mordant Seer, and it says, any YouTuber / channel you want us to check out? Anyone in the community. Base Jalaren, Apollo Gray, Neptune Plays I've already mentioned, Reverse C, Insidious Swede, which you probably are subscribed to, Simply G, RX Manga, though he hasn't posted in a while. Just really anyone in the community, Mr. Steelio Senpai, M3L Seriously, just anyone in the community, I would say check out. Some people post more regularly than others, so some channels also might be to your taste, more so than others, but really just anyone, I guess. It's MangaTube is a growing industry's a bad term. Community is what I'm going to choose, because I think that fits it best. But yeah, basically anyone, any of the channels I mentioned, and certainly just anyone else that I didn't mention that is also part of the community. Moving on, we have some questions from Psychedelic B. First question: if you were to expand the scope of your channel, what would you choose to include, and any plans to do so in the future? Yes, I would like to expand the channel into other fields. Anime would probably be the first one I expand to, and I'm not sure if I would do other channels linked to the main channel, or if I would just post content, or all the content, to the main channel. If I do decide to branch out more than that, like gaming, music, stuff like that, skits maybe, I have no idea. Yeah, I would like to expand the channel. I do have some ideas for some anime videos. They just have not been put to paper or put to recording, I guess. Yeah. Would like to expand the scope of the channel. And those are things I would like to include. Just more different stuff, really. Still keep the manga stuff, of course, but also have other content as well, and post more frequently. That's also a goal of mine, is to have the time to make more videos so that I can post more videos more frequently. Next question: do your friends / family know about your YouTube channel, and if so, what do they think? The answer to that is no, I do not believe they do. And if so, what do they think? They don't know, so I have no idea what they would think. Yeah, moving on, we have pretty basic question, but what series do you wish would get an anime adaptation, and further, what studio do you think could do this adaptation justice? Okay, what I want is I want Madhouse to do a reproduction of Nana, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood style, and like get back the original cast, all who are still alive. I'm not sure if any have passed since the original, and just continue the story from where it is. Maybe if they can get Aizawa on board, maybe actually give it an ending that is the ending that she wants. That would be what I would ask for, because the anime is unfortunately incomplete, as is the manga, but the manga does go much further than the anime does. Yeah, that's what I would want. I would want a Nana anime Brotherhood style, as in like they just start over from scratch and make a whole new anime with everything updated with new tech and stuff like that. That would be the best thing that could happen, and for Madhouse to animate it as well, because they're the ones that made the original, and I think they would do a great job with a remake. Next up, we have what is your dream story for a manga? So like, if you could have a manga about any specific thing you wanted, what would it be? Yuri, and more Yuri. That's what I want. I want Yuri. Other things I want to see, like, it's hard because, like, Berserk is sort of that kind of story that I love, and the only thing that gives me the same sort of feeling to that is Ubel Blot. So I've already got 2 series that fill that void, of, like, dark fantasy, adventure, action type thing. Nana, I don't think any other series will come close to what Nana is. Solanin is very specific, and I don't think anything could ever recreate that manga. It's hard for me to say. I do like supernatural stuff. So like urban supernatural, I think is really like a really cool aesthetic. Cyberpunk aesthetics, steampunk aesthetics, mostly just things tied to aesthetics. I really like certain settings with certain like tonal specificities. That's one of the reasons I like Case Study of Vanitas, is because it's a steampunk setting with vampires, and that's really cool and interesting. I like the taboo romance. Those are fun. I enjoy those, where the characters are conflicted not only with like other people for liking the thing that they like, but also like with themselves for it being the way it is. So what is your dream story for a manga? There's not like one specific thing I have. Maybe something that tickles my fetish, I don't know. But I read different manga for different reasons. Some are for fun, others are for like a more serious read. So it's hard to say if I have a dream manga like of anything specific. It's just there are certain things I like, and I read certain manga to fill those sort of voids that I sort of want to read at that time, if that makes sense. I do like Yuri, though, and if we could get more Yuri licensed, I would be a happy man. Next up, sorry if that didn't answer your question the way I wanted it to, but I sort of went off on a tangent. I surprised myself there. Yeah, that would be my answer, and I apologize if that isn't sort of the answer you wanted. But we're going to move on to your next question, which is, who is your biggest manga tuber influence? It has to be Insidious Swede. That's almost a no-brainer for me, because he is, I want to say, like the largest manga tuber that uploads consistently. I know NZ Anime Manga is bigger, or has a larger sub base, but I think Insidious Swede uploads more consistently, which is, in my opinion, more important. Is to make sure that your content is consistent. So it was mostly him uploading typically weekly videos, and just sort of being very outspoken about getting into manga and being a manga tuber. So I'd probably say Insidious Swede. Who's your favorite underrated channel? Ooh, underrated's a hard one. Underrated? Because, like, there are different ways you can think about underrated, right? There's, like, the channel that has no subs, but makes great content, and then there's the channel that makes great content, but gets a bunch of dislikes. Underrated channel. I have no idea. Underrated. Well, okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say underrated channels, channels that don't get the love that they deserve. I'm gonna guess, just because of the demographics of people that watch YouTube videos on manga, I'm gonna say any of the channels that are more dedicated to shoujo are underrated. For obvious reasons, I would assume, if you're listening to this video. Yeah, I'm gonna go with channels that are more dedicated to shoujo manga. I would say are more underrated. Is what I'm going to go with for that. Favorites? I don't have a lot of favorites. That's a hard one. I just generally don't have favorites. Very few categories I have favorites in, so I can't really say favorites. But just any shoujo manga channel I feel is underrated just based on viewership numbers on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to go with for that question. Oh, we have some more questions from the Insurgent Master. First question, what is your favorite manga? As I was just talking about, I don't really have favorites. I like different manga for different reasons, and so having a favorite doesn't work particularly well for me, because like if I'm gonna compare a drama to a comedy, I don't feel that makes a whole lot of sense, because I wouldn't watch one if I'm in the mood for the other, and vice versa. So favorite is a bad term for manga, in my opinion, just because like I wouldn't rate a comedy manga the same way I would rate a horror manga, the same way I would rate an action manga, the same way I would rate like a hardcore drama. Just because I'm looking for different things. Oh, like in Yuri manga as well. There are specific things I'm looking for the type of series that it is, so I rate them differently. To an extent, there are some things that stay the same, so I don't really have a favorite manga. I can say that I really love Berserk, I really love Nana, Solanin's fantastic, Our Happy Time is amazing. Those are all amazing manga. Utsubora is absolutely fantastic. A Silent Voice is incredible. Yeah, so I don't really have a favorite, but I do have manga that I really, really love. Next up, he has another question. Are there any manga that deserve a reprint? In my opinion, yes, there are. It's probably going to be a lot of the old Tokyo Pop or old Viz stuff. From what I hear, Red River is fantastic, so I don't know why Viz hasn't reprinted that yet. Has really high scores, from what I've heard, and I've only heard amazing things about the series. So probably Red River. It's mostly going to be series that I have heard things about but haven't really read. I'm not sure how well Chibi Vampire would sell. I feel the ending is kind of weak, and that is not good. If because people know how it ends, right? So it's when people know a series ends not super great, you're less incentivized to do a reprint. It's a hard one. I think maybe the like Mitsukazu Mihara stuff, like I Seen a Sunflower, Beautiful People, those are great series that are out of print, though they're still really cheap. There's a lot. Dark Horse stuff, Gantz, anything Dark Horse, because Dark Horse doesn't print manga ever. So, and they never complete the series ever. Like Eden, It's an Endless World is incomplete, and out of print both. So stuff that's Dark Horse needs to be reprinted, obviously, because they're bad. They just they're not good. So, you know, any of the series I mentioned, anything by Dark Horse, Mushishi, from what I hear, is fantastic. And I would probably imagine that it's fantastic because it goes for insane prices. No Longer Human, reprinted in a non-flipped form, maybe all-in-one hardcover. That would be pretty cool for Vertical to do. The Vertical's starting to move away from what they used to, which is more obscure, sort of art housey works, which is kind of unfortunate because I really liked them for doing that. Though luckily Seven Seas appears to be filling that void, kind of. They're releasing a lot of classic series, which is really cool. I can't wait for those. But yeah, went off on another tangent. Fun times. Yeah, any of the series I mentioned, anything by Dark Horse, I think all those deserve a reprint. Not a whole lot of series in my collection are out of print. And the ones that are, you know, it's give or take on whether or not they deserve a reprint. It's mostly series that I've not purchased or have heard amazing things about that I have listed here. Next up, we have a question from Rem and Ram, another manga tuber who you should check out, and that is, do you think Magi Adventures of Sinbad will get another season? I have not seen the Sinbad Magi anime. I've seen the other two Magi anime, being Kingdom of Magic and Labyrinth of Magic. I think Labyrinth of Magic is first before Kingdom. I would imagine it would. Magi's incredibly popular. I guess it really just depends on the Blu-ray sales, or the domestic Blu-ray sales, because the overseas Blu-ray sales don't really matter a whole lot when it comes to second seasons and stuff like that. I've not looked at the numbers for this, so you'd have to do some of the research yourself on that. But given how popular the manga is, how popular Magi is, I know this is the prequel to Magi, but I would imagine it would. Just because Magi is super popular, but I've not seen the Sinbad anime. I know it's available on Netflix and the Seven Seas as well. Everything's available on the Seven Seas, but it is available on Netflix, so I will probably check it out at some point. Not sure when. Don't watch a whole lot of anime, so it takes me forever to get through or to get to new series because I normally just watch one. And then maybe like a month or two later, I'll start another series. So, you know, may take me a long time to get there, but I will probably watch it at some point. Next up, we have a question from Nunu Sharma, and it asks, if you could create a box set for any manga, what manga would it be, and what would it include? I am a new subscriber and look forward to seeing your channel grow. Well, thank you for the positive feedback in the comments. If you could create a box set for any manga. Apollo Gray also asked this question for 3 volumes, so I'm just going to list another one. It would be a Girlfriends reprinted in a box set, or a hardcover box set from Seven Seas. Probably one of the most unlikely things to happen, though with the growth of Yuri, you never know. I would love that. It could include a poster as well. I like posters. If you include a poster in a box set, I'm generally pretty content and pretty happy. What it could also include is some Milk Morinaga one-shots. I think that would be very, very cool and interesting. Just sort of how, like, the Death Note Omega Edition, which is the anime special edition that was released by Viz Media, included the Death Note one-shot, which I thought was really cool. So, like, Girlfriend's hardcover reprint box set with a poster and or Milk Morinaga one-shots. That would be something I would like. And if Seven Seas, if you're watching this video for whatever reason and you're listening, I would much enjoy that. Or if you just want to release an anthology of Milk Morinaga one-shots, I'm okay with that too. I would love that. Just more of her stuff. I'd be a happy guy. Yeah. If I could get a Girlfriend's reprints in nice hardcover volumes, I'd be a happy person. Or if they like made a special edition box set or limited edition box set that had volumes that were better than the 2.5-in-1s that are currently released, I would be very happy. Next up, we have a question from Whimsical Pictures, another manga tuber, or several questions, I should say. What is your favorite thing that you find in manga that you don't get or don't get as much of out of any other medium? In other words, why do you read manga and what makes manga special in your opinion? I don't know. Probably, it probably has to do with the fact that it's a different perspective on storytelling and themes in general than a more Western perspective, and I tend to gravitate towards things that are non-conformist and out of the norm. So maybe it's that. There's a big selection of different topics and different aesthetics in manga, which if I, did my research, I could absolutely find in other media. But currently manga is what I'm looking through. I have no idea. I don't know why. It's unique. Like I'm gonna give a round circle logic answer here, but it's unique because it's unique. That's the best explanation I can give. I really don't know. Something about it that I can't necessarily verbalize or quantify. uh, draws me to it for whatever reason, and I have no idea. Next question from her is, have you ever been to Japan? If not, what would be your top 3 spots to visit as a tourist, and why? I have not been to Japan. 3 spots I would visit. Mount Fuji. I don't know a whole lot of special spots or anything like that, but I do know Mount Fuji. Probably Akihabara. Gotta go to Akihabara. If you're into anime and manga, it's a meme, in my opinion. You gotta go there as a meme. Just you have to go to Akihabara, or Akiba. That's a necessity. And then probably just Kyoto. Tokyo and Kyoto. 2 big cities. Maybe Hokkaido. I have no idea. I don't know where I'd go. Definitely Mount Fuji, because it's Mount Fuji. Who doesn't want to go to Mount Fuji? Unless you don't want to, like, travel. Then I guess you wouldn't want to go. But that's sort of a big landmark. Why? I'm not super big on, like, okay, my thing on travel is it doesn't matter where you're going, it's who you're going with. So, like, it would be cool to go and sightsee, but, you know, if I have no one that I care about to share sort of the experience with, then there's not really a big point in doing so. So, I don't think I would ever do that unless I just happen to be in Japan for whatever reason. Like a job or fair or something. I have no idea why I would be in Japan. But if I am, I would probably go see Mount Fuji without anyone, just to see it. But yeah, travel's more about seeing something with someone else rather than seeing it for yourself, I feel. So that my opinion on travel is, I think, different than other people's, but I'm not sure. It's the experience of traveling with someone that you enjoy spending time with that is the enjoyable part of traveling. Not necessarily where you go or what you see. So, you know, if I do travel to Japan, it will probably be with someone else, and then we'll probably see whatever they want to see, just because there isn't anything I really want to see super badly. And I am hard-pressed to imagine that if we go to Japan, they would not want to see Mount Fuji, so, you know. That would be the one thing that I'd be like, we gotta go there. We gotta go to Mount Fuji, we gotta go to Akihabara, and then I'd be like, okay, we'll go wherever you want. I don't really care too much. And then her last question, sorry if that wasn't a very good answer, or an answer you wanted, but her last question is, and of course, if your hands were muffins, what kind would they be? This is the most important question. She says, my hands were muffins. Blueberry? Maybe? I have no idea. Blueberry muffins? I like blueberry muffins. Blueberry muffins taste pretty good in my opinion. That might not be good because then I'd have a desire to eat my hands, but, you know, I like blueberry muffins. And so I'd probably want to be surrounded by blueberry muffins if I had to have my hands be muffins. That's what I'd say. I'd prefer my hands to not be muffins because I do like being able to grab things with my fingers, and to hold things in my hands. But yeah, we're gonna go with blueberry muffins for I like them, and they taste very good, which may be a bad thing, but oh well. Next, we have a question from Black Crane, and it is, how much did you spend on your whole collection as compared to its retail price? That's a hard one. I want to say, I paid between, I want to say, like, around, like, 60 to 70% retail price is what I would guess. That's a hard one, because some I bought on super sale, some are out of print, so I paid more than retail price for, some were for BOGOs, and so I would guess between 60 and 70% off, maybe, no, definitely between 60 and 70, not 65 to 75% off, but probably between 60 and, not off, Jesus, that would be insane, between 60 and 70% retail price, so between 30 and 40% off, I would say would be the best answer I can give, somewhere in there. Next question, how old are you? And if you are old enough, what's your job? Age is a little personal for me right now, so not gonna answer that, sort of stick clear of that question. Next up, and also, how itchy are you about the condition of your manga? Are you fine with little bent or little corner bents or spines, or you an OCD guy? And in the end, how much time did you accumulated all your manga collection? Stick clear about condition. It depends on who I'm buying from. Like if I'm buying new and I expect it to be new, then I am pretty picky. Like if I'm buying from a retailer like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Right Stuff, I expect it to be in very, very high condition, and I do get pretty upset when those companies fail on what I think is their obligation because they're advertising new, and so it should come new. When I'm buying either used or from a seller on like eBay, and they're advertising new or like new, I'm more lenient, I feel, with them, because they're not like a giant megacorp that's making a whole lot of money. They're just an independent person. So I'm typically more lenient with third parties when it comes to condition. That said, I do tend to avoid good, and typically avoiding very good, though I will sometimes buy very good condition, like the new, like new, very good, good, acceptable. I stay away from good and acceptable because definitely acceptable. Don't go with acceptable. Oftentimes, in my opinion, acceptable is not acceptable condition for books and stuff like that. And I like to look at the pictures. I do like as new as can be, though certain things bother me more than others. But yeah, it really depends on who I'm buying from. If it's a third party or an independent, I'm more lenient with quality. But if it's from a mainstream retailer, I do expect them to fulfill their obligations. And it is upsetting when they do not fulfill those obligations, and then they refuse to replace your stuff. And then it feels bad, and you don't want to buy from them anymore. That is not fun. But yeah. And then in the end, how much time did you accumulated all your manga collection? As I said, 2 years. Guess probably. For how long I've been buying manga, I'm bad with large swaths of time, as I've said before. So I'm gonna guess 2 years. I honestly have no idea, but that's my best guess. 2 years. And then the last question we have from Sunil Shah is, name one bad manga with a great quality release and one good manga with a bad quality release. This is a manga that I don't necessarily think is bad. It's just okay, and that would be Appleseed Alpha. It has a pretty good high quality hardcover release from Kodansha. It's not bad, it's just okay. Probably wouldn't buy it if I had known about it beforehand, or if I'd read it before. So I'm gonna go with that. Not bad, just not the most recommended. Like, it's comprehensible for the most part, and I can understand what's going on, and nothing is too ridiculous or angering. So I'd go with that. And a good manga with a bad quality release, that's a lot. That's a ton. I think A Silent Voice deserves a better release. I think Berserk deserves a better release. I think Nana deserves a better release. There's a whole heap of manga that I think deserve better releases than they have been given. Helter Skelter, Pink, Enclosed Called Fat, I think deserve better releases. I think Girlfriends deserves a better release, though that one may be specific to me because I'm a Yuri fan. A Girl on the Shore, anything, well, no, Solanin and Punpun are really solid releases for Inio Asano works. Fantagraphics did an amazing job with Nijigahara Holograph. It's more so A Girl on the Shore that I feel could have been better. And What a Wonderful World is also a fantastic quality release. You know, it's hard to say. There's a lot of manga. And there are certainly ones that I feel deserve better release or better treatment. The ones I named, maybe the Flowers of Evil, though I don't know how good the omnibus volumes are that Vertical's putting out, but the single volumes are, you know, they're good, but they're not fantastic, and I do feel that's a very good series. I think I've said A Silent Voice before, but yeah, there's a lot that I feel deserve better releases. Yeah, that will do it for my answers for the Q&A special. I have no idea how long this video is because I have not checked the timestamp. I apologize if I took for absolutely freaking ever to answer all of these questions. You know, leave feedback for the channel or comments on my answers. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Let me know your opinions, that kind of stuff. Also, Psychedelic B asked, do I want to expand the channel? And I said yes. Do you want to see anything specific on the channel? I can do Slay the Spire gameplay or commentary if you want to do that. I do want to make anime videos. Let me know if you want those. You know, that kind of stuff. Do you want that? You know, how much are you guys for that kind of content? Let me know in the comments below. Recently passed 600 subscribers, so sorry that this is 100 subscribers late. My answers are, that is. But yeah, thank you guys so much for this milestone. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Want the community to be healthy and well. Yeah, that will do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Lythus. Goodbye.